Hello friends, here we are in the fourth game of the CSL with the University of Nebraska-Lincoln against South Dakota State University. The Huskers are up 2-1 against the Jackrabbits, that is the South Dakota State University. And here we have the Jackrabbits here. I'm trying to get to tie it up here at 2-2. Their player here, Sense of Fate, is a purple Protoss on the right-hand side. The left-hand side here we have Buer, which is playing as the orange Zerg, and he is the player for the Huskers. So far we've had our two 1v1s we've had so far have been pretty conservative. They've both been one-base plays where they've stayed basically in their own base and did not really expand. They built up armies and then they just attacked, and the game was over. So we'll see how this one turns out, see if we don't have any bit of expanding going on, maybe a little bit more of a macro game, or if they go straight for a attack. Here we got a forward pylon by the Protoss, that is for South Dakota, going ahead and going out here in his natural instead of right out here by his wall, or possibly by here. So he might go for an expand first build, maybe with a forge and some cannons. Excuse me. As he goes for another round of drones here, the Zerg player. Find out when he decides to get his pool. There the Protoss is scouting out. He went for the north and did not find anything. He decided to look there. He got enough to find out if he was there, and he was not there. The Overlord is high-fiving the probe to find out that they are both passing each other and see if it's possibly there. There's the forge laying down. Looks like he's going to go forge fast expand. As well, his counterpart here is going for his spawn or a extractor first, then spawning pool. Maybe we'll see a fast Zergling speed or just tech quick. He's got a probe sitting here. We'll see what he decides. Maybe put a cannon down first, or nope. Looks like there he's going to go for the gateway. As this very slow Overlord's finding out that his opponent is not at the northern position, as this probe already. I think, yes, he has already seen that scout. I missed that as he's seeing out this other Overlord to check this right-hand position. Lower right-hand. Go ahead and he's putting down the pylon in the smoke, which is always a smart idea. I always try to do that. See this probe there is that first cannon he lays down, delaying that expansion a little bit longer. As there's that quick Zergling speed as he's getting his queen out and 4 Zerglings. Maybe put a little early pressure on, which would work pretty well as if he didn't have that cannon here. If there's some way he can get around that into that mineral line. Putting that second cannon down, I think it'll make it a lot harder. I don't think he'll be able to get much work out of those Zerglings if he decides to early attack. But he's finally going to see if he can take out that pesky probe, which I wouldn't blame him. You don't want all your stuff being given away. A fairly conservative expand here. Stall this with these two cannons. We'll see if when he finally decides to expand, put down that nexus. Probably just in time for this Overlord to see what's going on. As he sends over these 4 Zerglings, we'll see if he decides to turn it around as soon as he sees that wall up he's got. Well, he wouldn't have to worry about this Protoss getting supply blocked anytime soon, as he has a plethora of pylons sitting around. And here comes the Zerglings, only to find out that he already have 2 cannons and a Zealot. As the Zerg player is expanding, almost done with his expansion, and building a couple more drones. Oh, there goes the Zergling getting all chopped up by the Zealot, and there's a Nexus finally getting put down. Looks like this Overlord's going to head over here and see what he can find as he gets a double assimilators now, finally getting some gas. A little Automation 2000 checking out what's going on. Probably not a very safe place to be. Luckily, these cannons aren't against robots. There's a good creep terminus connecting his expansion and his main base. And I'm putting his Overlord right here as well, trying to make sure that there's nothing that's going to jump up over there. And then there's the evolution chamber. See if you can get some early upgrades, get some strong Zerglings. So he's getting some good scouting information there, and he's getting his cybernetics score down now over here. Get that warp gate, as it looks like he's got 3 gates now. And there's a probe transfer, as a couple Zerglings try to sniff in and just get demolished. The Zerg decides to put up a little bit of static defense, and they have finally completed that connection there between those 2 bases. As the Zerg decides to pop out 4 more Zerglings, and the Protoss decides to get himself a couple sentries to help complete this wall off if need be, if they try to get a Zergling run by. And there we have a probe going out. See what he's up to. As the Zerg player here has his Roach-Warren, and now is going into a lair. There's a Zerg with speed, and looks like they're going to take out that probe no problem. It looks like they're going to see if they can't do any damage, it looks like. As soon as they got the assimilators down on that pylon, I don't know how much these Zerglings are going to do. It looks like they're just going to stop right outside of there to see if they're... Oh, here they're going to go in, see if they can't poke around. As they come around the back side, it looks like... Oh, there, yeah. It looks like they're going to run back and just sit there. Back home, they're building a few overlords, get himself some supply room as he's now upgrading his defenses, along with the Protoss getting his weapons, along with a few armored units, and going ahead and getting his first robotics bay. Warp gate's going to finish up here quick. It's quite late, but that's what you get. There he looks like he's adding on 2 more gateways along with the pylon to shore up that they don't get powered down, and the Zerglings sitting out there vigilant as the Zerg decides to expand again, along with dropping down a spire in a nice sneaky place. How well that'll hide it, I don't know. And going ahead and getting a bunch of overlords, 6 overlords, and then 3 roaches. Well, he's not going to get supply blocked anytime soon. It looks like these players definitely do not like being supply blocked. Uh-oh. I missed what happened to those little Zerglings. Well, it looks like they're dead now as our Protoss decides to get his robotics facility, and yet it was not been scouted by the Zerg player. So we'll see how that works out for him. Although with that spire, I don't think it'll be much trouble for him. I don't think he has not seen that spire yet. So that's going to hurt him as well, because he can have corruptors up in a second, along with those mutilates, and 24 Zerglings are popping out. Looks like he might be trying to do some damage here. In the units tab here, we've got 57 probes for the 45 drones. That's unusual, especially having this 3rd base. It's not going to do a lot if he doesn't have the the drones to fill it up. 14 overlords. He's got a overseer, 3 mutilates, 3 roaches, and 30 Zerglings against the 7 zealots, 4 stalkers, and 3 sentries. It doesn't look like it's favoring the Protoss very much, but with those 30 Zerglings, if they don't have any corruptors to deal with the Colossus that's going to pop out here, we'll see how that goes. And that is all the way over to his base. I don't know how that's going to work, as the Zerglings look like they're going to kind of run in here and see what they can do as they get a smush attack here on either side, but they've got a nice force field to take down a few of those Zerglings. And then he's looking for the Zerg +1 melee attack for those Zerglings as he pops out a few more. And it looks like this. He looks like he's got there's the macro hatchery there going down to see if he can't get some more. And then 10 drones. Looks like he's feeling pretty safe. He's got that group of Zerglings there, and it looks like this our Protoss player might be expanding again. We got a few more mutos coming out, along with the flyer attack, another carapace level 2. Well, our Protoss is getting his level 1 armor upgrade and trying to protect against the harassment here being done by these mutalisks. There, he did get some. He has had some workers killed, but it doesn't look like they've done much. But look at all those units killed there. It doesn't look like too much, but we'll see. 4 mutas more popping out along with some Zerglings. 38 Zerglings in total, and we'll say we have 2 Colossi. We have no corruptors for the Zerg player, even though he does know, I think, right now about this yes, he does know about that. That there are Colossus on the field. There the Mutas flying around a little bit more, see if they can't hit this third base, which has 2 photon cannons there warping in. But we'll see how well that works out for them as they fly in to find nothing, but it looks like they cannot defend this Nexus, and he might have to cancel it because it doesn't look like he has any cannons, but he may run away. Here comes the army. It doesn't look like he has too much to defend it, and that does go down. There's a loss of 2 pylons. One he could have surely canceled. Well, Zerg is getting 38 more Zerglings. Definitely going Zergling heavy. Of course, the Zerg is going Zerg heavy. He's Zerg. And there they are popping out, and we'll see this army here is getting pretty strong as he looks like take his 4th base. Got a few roaches mixed in. Looks mostly Mutaling, though, in this army composition to go up against the Colossus, Stalker, and a good mixture of Sentry and Zealot in there. Looks like we might see a battle up here as the Protoss comes back. I don't know if he has any scouting information over there, but looks like he might stay at home as here the Mutas look like to harass around the back end here as he does have a Templar Archives, which will do just massive damage if you get anything out. He thinks he's going to do that, but luckily he has this back here, but it looks like all 3 of these are going to get shut down here in a second. As they do, that's some good harassment there by the Mutals. There's his other army sitting here at home, preparing himself as he does get that 4th base up and going. He is getting pathogen glands, easy for me to say, some corruptors, 2 melee, carapace, and roach speed, and a bunch more Zerglings, along with upgrading to Hive. This army is getting maxed quickly. We've got 186 to 160. It doesn't look like it's going to bode well for this Protoss, but it isn't a nice army. Along with he does have those storms. He gets a few good storms out, protects those Colossus. It could work out well for him as these Mutas come in and try to take out everything. They power down that again as he's just trying to get that up there. He blinks the Stalkers up there to see if he can do some damage, and it looks like it'd be a good idea. Oh, he takes out 1, possibly 2. There's 2, and the 3rd. No, he looks away. He should really focus that down, and there's the 3rd Colossus. That'll do huge damage if he ever ends up meeting this main force anytime soon. Along with that, he's down at 146 versus a maxed out Zerg, which does not bode well for him. So it looks like our Jackrabbit is in a little bit of a tough spot as he decides to make Archons out of these Templar. Well, I don't know if that's a great decision with only 3 Archons, when those storms could do a lot more damage to this. It looks like here they're going to have a battle. I don't know how else he's going to go for this Protoss, but he holds off all of those Zerglings and manages to take out a good chunk. But with all this production abilities by this Zerg player, as well as he's going for the Greater Spire, Adrenal Glands, and a couple more Extractors, I don't know how this is going to work out for him. And that also was not canceled. It was not very good for him. And there are the Broodlords. That might spell the end of this game for our Protoss Jackrabbit player, because I don't see what he can use to defend against these guys. He doesn't have a Stargate to be seen. He does not have a 4th base. Although he has plenty of minerals, he needs to start warping in something. Definitely just go around and build a lot more as he tries to... Oh, the storm! Just taking a whole lot of Zerglings with it, and it looks like he's going to do his best. I don't know what teams are up for, but he's trying to hold off it as much as he can, but I just don't see this happening. And those Broodlords are definitely taking their toll. And there he goes, storming himself to do any damage, but it looks like this might be the end of it. It's 24 more Zerglings, 11 more Roaches, and those upgrades are coming through as he's just getting his weapon level 3, and he just has no units. It's 90 versus 148 as you see those, everything just pop out right there. And those, as we see those photon cannons getting taken down here, the Overseer, in case he brings any more DTs, there comes some more Templar, some High Templar to see if they can't get any more storms, but it is nothing to deal with these Broodlords. As it looks like now it's just a matter